You're up.
Alright. So the first question, I said that the soul and the mind, they are somewhat different. The part that makes them the same is the need for a physical body in order to function. They serve different purposes, however, they're still connected. Raz's Day discusses how the soul and the body are different than each other. Like this, the soul and the mind are dependent, or they're dependent on each other. Like this, the soul and the mind are dependent on each other to give full function to an individual. The soul is the spiritual aspect of us, and the mind is the aspect of us to understand the spiritual and the physical. Human nature human nature at birth is both survival and innocent. However, we are born into a simple world, so that innocence does not always stay. After birth, heredity and environment play an enormous role in how an individual develops. One essay stated that although heredity can have an influence on facial, body features, and personality, so can the environment a child grows up in. Twin studies found that twins in different environments showed both similarities and differences. All three aspects of the physical, the soul, and the mind are connected, but they're still separate. The physical body fosters the ability for a mind and a soul. Augustine defines the soul-body problem as the soul using a body. Aquinas stated the intellectual soul is not united to the body as form to matter, but only as a mover to movable. For Plato said that the soul is in the body as a sailor in the ship. And basically, one of the articles stated that all three aspects give us the capacity of life. Human intelligence and mental illness. Human intelligence is vast and is different from individual to individual. Intelligence is defined as the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. Because of this, intelligence tests are inadequate to measure something so different from person to person. Scripture from Proverbs 9:10, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Mental illness is defined by various psychiatric conditions, usually characterized by impairment of an individual's normal cognitive, emotional, and behavioral functioning, and caused by physiological and psychosocial factors. And just as human intelligence is vast, so is mental illness. What are the main functions and purposes of psychology and psychological treatment? Psychology and psychological treatment are designed to understand individuals and be able to enhance the quality of life for patients. Treatment is defined by one article as clinical interventions on people with the purpose of understanding, relieving, and solving psychological disorders, emotional disorders, behavioral problems, and personal worries. It's intended to help an individual who is suffering from mental illness to relieve the symptoms and to help reverse or at least understand what is happening to that individual. Okay.
Is that it? So, let me get this straight. You said that a person's born innocent. Babies are born innocent. That's a different tack than any of the other people have said. What brings you to think that?
Well, I kind of thought about the fact that what they consider the age of accountability. So before that age, they consider that you would go straight to heaven because you don't have that capacity to be truly evil. So that's kind of where I got that from, is if we're innocent enough to go to heaven, then we're truly innocent until the world gets a hold of us.
So it's more or less coming into the world that taints the soul, taints the whole thing. So not in the womb. I just ask questions to be honored. Any other questions, guys? Okay. Thank you very much for doing that.